Hey guys, after screwing around with this Western Digital Netcenter for a while, I've given up on it. The drive does seem to use some type of ext2 type format, but I don't know how to set up the magic shared folder on it and what the admin rights should be for it and whatnot. And there's no info that I could find online, and support wasn't very helpful. Plus, it's old, it's quite slow, and I was never all that crazy about it anyways. Well, good news is I happened to stop by my local micro center chain last night, and they got a lot of great sales, including this guy. Now, there aren't many standalone NAS boxes that use Ethernet anymore. They all seem to be USB these days, but I've got a whole gigabit network set up with a switch and whatnot, a bunch of computers, so I'd like to stick with that. So I found this guy. It wasn't too expensive, and it also is a print server and has a USB port on it, and can serve as a DHCP server and so on. And I got lots of drives really cheap. So I picked up a 1.5 gig Western Digital Caviar Green. These use less power with a trade-off for a little bit of performance, but I'm sure it's going to be plenty fast enough for what I want to do. And I'd prefer it to run cooler since it'll be on 24/7. So the first thing I need to do, according to the instructions, is pop this open and put the drive in and then hook it up to my network. And from there, apparently this has a web browser, an administration panel, and I'll be able to format the drive from within this device itself, which is a handy thing to be able to do, because this Western Digital, the only way I could figure out to format a drive is to pop it in a computer, format it, take it out, then pop it in this guy, which is not convenient at all. I just had to remove a couple screws and the whole inside slid out. Inside of that is a tray to hold the hard drive, which I've already unwrapped here. And that simply sits in there, and then it slides into the SATA connector. And then I'll need to attach it with some screws on the side and put it back together. I've hooked it up to my network and powered it on, and so far so good. Status lights all seem to be good. I like this case. It's all pretty heavy gauge aluminum. I imagine it'll aid in cooling down the hard drive. Now I'll hop on my web browser and see if I can actually hook up to it. Cool. I like it when things work like they're supposed to. So there's all my network info and whatnot. And there's my drive. Detected it, not formatted, of course. This thing can also be an FTP server, but I don't plan on using that anytime soon, so I'm just going to disable that. I guess the SMB is for sharing drives over the network. I think you can actually, you can actually add accounts to access shared resources on the drive from within the device itself, which is kind of neat. Can also serve as a media server to share, I think, well, photos, music, and video to like an Xbox or PS2 or 3. PS3. And it could be a print server. I might give that a try and hook my printer up to it. So right now I've got my printer hardwired to one computer, so that's the only computer that can actually use it. Let's see what we got under maintenance. Get firmware uploads from within this device itself. Kind of neat. IP config. You can hard code the IP address, and this can actually serve as its own as a DHCP server. But I've got another one in my firewall router, so I'll just use that. And let's see, under disk utility here. Well, time to format. Yes. Imagine this is going to take a while. Okay, it finished formatting. It only took a couple minutes. I then set the sleep time to 30 minutes. I believe that will save power when there's no activity. Now when I go over to status, it shows that the drive has about 1.43 terabytes of free space. I then went into the system info up here and changed my work group to be what I've used for my internal network here. And under the SMB server, by default you get a guest account with read-write access. Now when I jump over and browse my network, there's the media server, which I don't have set up right now, and I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's kind of neat. If you click on it, it kicks off Windows Media Player, and you see, a library of music and playlists and whatnot. And then that's the actual storage drive itself, which of course is blank, and you get prompted for a password here, which I guess that should work. Oh, and there's the print server. Cool. So I'm going to try setting up some folders and copying files over, get some idea of what the transfer rates are like. For a test, I'm copying over all the videos for my GE212 radio restoration. It's about 3.5 gig and it's taking about 7 minutes total. See if that stays constant, and I'll do a little math and see what kind of transfer rate that actually translates to. While I wait for those files to copy over, I'm going to take a look at this impulse buy I made in the checkout line. 10 LED flashlights for $10, and supposedly they all come with good batteries. Well, we'll see about that. So inside that package I got 2 of these guys, which come with a headband strap. The idea is you can strap this to your forehead and turn it on. And I got 6 of these little guys and 2 of the larger guys. Now, at first none of these turned on and I thought that all the batteries were dead or something. Because click it, nothing happens. And I realized when you open it up there's actually a plastic disc inside of each one to prevent the batteries from being drained while it's sitting in its packaging. And once you take it out, it works just fine. Looks like there's 6 LEDs inside of this guy, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 inside of this guy. So yeah, not a bad deal. I've already had a couple of these for a while, and they're great for like when you pick up like an old radio or TV or whatever, or a computer, and poke around inside. Very, very bright, and the batteries last forever. Alright, my transfer's done, and it did take about 6 minutes, and I did some math here, and came out to about 8 megabytes per second, which, it's not spectacular, but it's faster than the old drive was. So tonight I'm going to schedule a backup to run to this device, and so far I'm really happy with it, and it's working just fine, and best of all, it didn't cost a whole lot. For backup software, I use Acronis products, Acronis True Image Server on my server, and Acronis True Image Home on my PCs. So I got the server backup running right now. It's going to take about an hour to back up about 25 gig. So far everything looks to be running fine, so I'm going to close this video out, and if there are any problems or anything unexpected, I'll be sure to let you guys know.